sunny weather again today. Still waiting for all those spring blossoms to appear. And what's going on today? I guess in terms of spring, this wasn't a very nice looking scenery where apparently there was this drone attack that was captured on video. And as you can see here, multiple people are posting this one that would appear, you can see in the background, it looks like there's so many things, I guess, flying towards this area, and then all of a sudden this huge explosion occurs. Although one thing I wasn't clear is whether or not were these aerial drones or were these drones on the water. Although people are wondering, is this real? For example, this person writes, if this footage of naval drone attack on Sevastopol is authentic, it's pretty remarkable. I know during these times with that war between Ukraine and Russia, there were incidents, for example, where you saw videos of fighter jets apparently taking down other jets, and it turned out to be from video games as an example. But either way, non-stop war, I guess, in the world, huh? Although, how about a more positive story about the use of a drone? This one here says, drones are delivering prescriptions to BC's remote communities. The drones flew 1,200 times in 1 year, delivering medical supplies to those in need. Drones have been flying over rivers to bring medical supplies to remote and indigenous communities in British Columbia, and now the project is expanding. The University of British Columbia worked closely with the Sladden First Nation to pilot the drone initiative, clocking in 1,200 flights over 12 months between October 2021 and October 2022. So it seems like they're expressing how it's necessary in some of those areas, especially when they don't have affordable means to get medicine from one place to another. It keeps reminding me of that story where apparently somebody in the island actually had to pass away because they couldn't get the medicine to them, where in order to do so they'd have to pay thousands of dollars for a helicopter, and unfortunately they just decided it wasn't, I guess, viable financially. And it says here, the goal of the exercise is and was to continue to understand how drone technology could influence, hopefully positively, the medical supply chain as it relates to rural, remote, indigenous communities. And more news about, I guess, companies using AI search. I guess Google did announce this before in terms of their Google Bard, which is supposed to be in competition with ChatGPT as an example, with what Bing is using. But it's just kind of interesting in terms of this, where they opened it up, it seems like, I guess, to more of the public to test it out. And there's been so many negative, I guess, articles about this. Like, for example, here it says, Google Bard plagiarized our article, then apologized when caught. So here, it's basically a tech hardware review site. And from what I gathered, they were asking which CPU is better, the Core i9, in terms from the Intel or the AMD Ryzen 9, and the answer that this Bard bot gave was apparently just, I guess, a copy and paste of the article versus what you would assume that these AI bots are doing is it's gathering all the information, interpreting it, and then spitting out some kind of conclusion. Although for the most part, from what I've seen anyways, it seems like a lot of these chatbot features are literally just taking quotes and stuff from websites anyways and trying to organize it in a certain way versus actually thinking and calculating it, if that makes sense. That's what it seems like anyways from what I've seen from a lot of my testing, like for fun for this stuff. Or then there's other articles like here saying, Google's new AI chatbot seems boring. Maybe that's the point. The new tool Bard arrived 6 long weeks after Microsoft's Bing GPT release. I always wonder personally nowadays, and when I see a lot of sources kind of have the same type of opinion all published at once, I always wonder, was everyone like part of the same group or something like that? Like there's an effort to promote, let's just say here, I know, Microsoft's chat and so forth. I wouldn't doubt if ultimately Google's too slow here and they lose their market share. I mean, it could happen. But again, it's just kind of interesting to see how everyone seems to be really negative about this for a large portion of the stuff that I'm reading anyways. See you guys later.